Hello everybody, welcome to Sonic Wrestling, and today we are doing another WrestleMania review. You guys voted for us to do that. We're getting back to the thing of WrestleMania all the way up until this current year. And we have done 2026. So, let's get into it. We got WrestleMania 18 from March 17, 2002. This will be the last WrestleMania under the World Wrestling Federation banner. They will turn into the WWE later in the year. I think not long after this, actually. And yeah, we'll be from WWE from now on. Taking place in Toronto, Canada. The last WrestleMania take place in Toronto. As so far, I don't think they'll. I live near Toronto. Don't think they'll ever come back here, to be honest. I don't, because they need the attendance figure to be like 70, 80, 90, whatever thousand, and you just don't get that anymore. It's in the Sky Dome. Attendance of 68,237. Pay-per-view buy rate 860,000. Commentary team for the evening: JR and Jerry Lawler. We get Saliva playing Superstar to open the show. That's their song. To a video package you can barely see because it's just on a screen above them, but the focus is on them performing. Very weirdly done. The video package and I hope the video package was dog shit. We go into a first matchup of the evening, though, as the Intercontinental Champion William Regal defends the title against Rob Van Dam. Regal won the title at the Rumble, if my memory's correct. Beating Edge with the power of the punch, also known as the Brass Knucks. Yeah, that worked out. It worked out for him up until this point. Let's see how it goes against this RVD. We get a spin kick by RVD. RVD kicks the Brass Knucks out of Regal's hand, and Regal begs off. RVD goes for a 5-star frog splash, but Regal moves. Regal hits a suplex, and RVD kicks out. Regal drives RVD down into the mat, but he kicks out. RVD gets back in and goes for Rolling Thunder, but he gets the knees up. We get a powerbomb by Regal, but RVD kicks out. RVD makes a comeback, but Regal's able to hit the Regalplex. Regal then grabs as a second pair of knucks, but doesn't get a chance to use them for a spin kick again to the face of Regal, and a 5-star frog splash for RVD to pin and win the Intercontinental title. I give it 6 out of 10. A very good start. RVD is a hell of a show opener. There's a reason he's usually in that role. He was on shows because he's just very good and very entertaining. Regal does a great job being the heel, slimy heel against RVD. Yeah, very, very, very fun opening match, and RVD is the new Intercontinental Champion. He doesn't hold this for long. If my memory is right, he holds it for like a month. Because I think on the Raw after, Eddie Guerrero returns, and then I think a Backlash, Eddie beats RVD for it, so he doesn't hold it for very long before he's, losing it to, people. So, yeah, not a long reign this first thing for RVD as Intercontinental Champ. The next match is for the European Championship as the European Champion Diamond Dallas Page takes on Christian. So up until this point, Christian had been on a losing streak. He's been losing via his having temper tantrums. So DDP trying to be his coach and trying to put more positivity into his game. You have to be more positive. And on Raw, Christian finally gets his first win and then immediately turns on DDP, saying he didn't need DDP. He's got his winning streak back. He used him to get his winning streak back, his mojo back, and now he's good, and now he's going to become European champ. Let's see how that goes. Christian does jump DDP as he enters the ring, but DDP gets back into it, hits a gut wrench, gut buster. Christian gets into it and hits a low blow, and he sends him off the apron into the barricade. Christian sends DDP into the ring post and wears him down. DDP throws Christian off the top rope, and we get a double down. DDP does make a comeback, his discus clothesline, and a set-up powerbomb, but Christian kicks out. Reverse DDT by Christian, but DDP kicks out of that. But DDP does hit the Diamond Cutter, shoulders back, chest out at ease to pin and retain the European Championship. I give it 5 out of 10. It's a perfectly fine match. DDP would not hold this belt for long either. He retains it here, and I think on the SmackDown after, he loses it to William Regal. So William Regal goes from IC champ to European champ. So he doesn't go without a belt long, and DDP not much longer with this belt. Honestly, though, I did forget until watching the show, DDP held the belt. So that tells you everything there. Our next match is a hardcore match for the Hardcore Championship as Goldust takes on the Hardcore Champion, Maven. This match is not much of a match. Goldust jumps Maven. Maven drop kicks a trash can into Goldust and goes for a roll up, a kick out by Goldust. Goldust hits Maven with a golden shovel. And then they both hit each other with trash can lids and they both go down. Spike Dudley runs down with the referee, pins Maven, and becomes Hardcore Champ and runs out of there. As a match, 2 out of 10. There's not much to it. It's very quick, very short. It's just there to start the hardcore shenanigans of the evening, which I will continue to go to as it happens. Because we go right back into the Spike gets backstage, and Al Snow is in a golf cart, Teddy Long, and they try to run over Spike, but Spike was out of the way, and they just run into a thing of cardboard boxes that for some reason is just there. The Hurricane then flies in and kicks Spike and pins him to become Hardcore Champ. So the Hurricane is the new Hardcore Champion. Our next match, though, is Kurt Angle taking on Kane. Talk about a Mania match I have no recollection of. I did not even know these two faced each other at a Mania, so there you go. Angle jumps Kane. You get used to that. That's happened a lot so far right at this, on this show, and it happens more. And it hits him with the ring bell before the match starts. Angle hits a German suplex. Kane gets in control, but not falling for Angle hits a belly-to-belly suplex and gets in control. Kane gets back into a match with a side slam. We get triple Germans by Angle, but Kane kicks out. Angle makes a top rope clothesline. Kane's able to get back into and make a comeback. We get a power slam, but Kane kicks out. Kane hits a choke slam, but Angle puts his hand on the rope. Angle hits the Angle slam, but Kane kicks out. Ankle lock by Angle, but Kane gets out of it. Angle hits a belly-to-belly off the top and rolls up Kane with his feet on the ropes to win. I give it 6 out of 10. These two have a good match. I think Kurt Angle's still incredible at this point. Like, at the fact Kurt Angle has only been in the business for, 3 years. And he's putting out performances like this. It's kind of crazy. Like, he's definitely up there when it comes to wrestlers for me. He's definitely on the top 5. I might have to do a list again of my favorite wrestlers. Don't know how many, but we'll see. Our next matchup is a no disqualification match as Ric Flair takes on The Undertaker. This story pretty much has started since Ric Flair joined the company. Back in December as Vince's partner. As the consortium! So Rick does that. Taker turns heel after Survivor Series for some reason. Not feeling like he doesn't get enough respect, I guess. So ever since then, these two have been crossing each other's paths, right? No Way Out, Ric Flair cost The Undertaker a #1 contenders match, I think it was. Or just a match at No Way Out. I think it was just a match. He cost him a match at No Way. Cost him a match at No Way Out against The Rock. Taker's wanted a match with him at Mania. Flair has said no. So Taker goes pretty much as far as good. He beats up Arn Anderson to a bloody pulp. He beats up David Flair in a bathroom. He he whoops the shit out of everyone in Flair's thing, and then Flair finally agrees to it. At some point during a brawl, he punches a fan. And this board is weird. So the board of directors in WWE tell Flair, do you plan to go through with this matchup? And Flair goes, yes. So they go, okay, well, until we have no choice but to remove you from power and review this after Mania. Which makes no sense, considering the fact Vince has put himself in so many matches and so much shit. Why is Flair the one that has to, that there's questions if he get, like, you shouldn't be having a match, you're professional. What? That made no sense to me. Maybe I'm missing context, but the way that's presented makes no sense to me. Flair goes right at the Undertaker at the start of the match. Was surprised, it's a brawl. Undertaker sends Flair into the post and gets control. Undertaker boots Flair off the apron, and Ric Flair is busted open. And he's bleeding a gusher there. Undertaker it's most of the match. It's just Undertaker whooping Ric Flair's fucking ass. Like, this guy spent majority of the time. This match is very long. How long is this match? Hold on. I think it's like, this match is 18 minutes. I think a good 14 is just Undertaker beating up Flair. You get a superplex by the Undertaker, and he pins but pulls Flair off the mat. Flair tries to make a comeback, but it's cut off. Undertaker goes for old school, but Flair rips Taker off the top rope. Undertaker hits a side slam, but Flair kicks out. Undertaker's then crouched on the top rope, which allows Flair to get back into it, and hit Undertaker with a lead pipe, and now Undertaker is bleeding. Flair makes a comeback. He hits a low blow, locks in the figure four, but Undertaker just ghouls out Flair to get out of it. Hits a chokeslam, but he kicks out. We get a ref bump, and then Arn Anderson with a beautiful spine buster. The man still can do a spine buster better than anyone. But Undertaker kicks out of that. Flair goes to attack Undertaker with a chair, but Taker hits the big boot. He goes to a last drive, but can't get Flair up, so he just says, fuck it, and then hits him with the tombstone to win. I give it 7 out of 10. It's a very fun matchup. I think it is a case of, I think Taker does spend a bit too long beating up Ric Flair, but in the end, it is a very well done story. Taker is 10-0 now at, WrestleMania, so it's doing very well. This is when the streak is slowly starting to be built here. This is when they're starting to make something of the streak. Our next matchup is over a shampoo commercial, folks, as Edge takes on Booker T. I can't believe there's literally a sign as these two come out that just says they're fighting over shampoo. They are. Edge is in control early. Booker sends Edge to the outside. Booker hits a missile dropkick. Edge kicks out. Booker hits a spine buster, but Edge kicks out. Edge makes a comeback and hits the Edge-O-Matic, but Booker kicks out. Spinning heel kick off the top, but Booker kicks out of that. Edge goes for the spear, but Booker jumps out of it. Hits the scissors kick, but Edge kicks out. Edge hits a spear, but Booker kicks out of that. But he does hit the execution to win. I give it 6 out of 10. It's perfectly fine. It's, again, these two are very great workers, so there's no way they weren't going to have a good match. But, like, they're fighting over shampoo. You know, they're fighting, like, what do we really expect to happen here? We go backstage. The Hurricane is hit with a frying pan by Mighty Molly, and she pins and becomes the Hardcore Champ. That's how Molly Holly turns heel. By the way, that's her heel turn, is attacking in the Hurricane with a frying pan. Next matchup is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Scott Hall with Kevin Nash. I'm sorry, I'm not surprised looking back at this why Austin's angry at his bullshit. Why is he facing Scott Hall here? Last year, the man was in the main event winning the World Wrestling Federation title. Now he's facing Scott Hall in like the middle of the show. Yeah, if I'm Austin, I'd be pretty annoyed too. I feel like Nash should also be annoyed. He doesn't get to have a Mania match because they have to make sure Hall can even fucking wrestle. So in case he can't, they have to have Nash on standby. But yeah, I feel like Austin should have probably faced Hogan. But it's a very odd one. Austin goes right after Hall, and Austin attacks Nash from behind. I kind of agree with Lawler. Y'all can't, like, Nash had a reason to he got provoked here. JR was like, oh, he got provoked. He did, he got jumped. Austin just attacks him out. No, he hasn't even gotten involved, and Austin just starts attacking him. So yeah, Nash will respond. Hall hits a clothesline, Austin kicks out. Nash removes a turnbuckle. You don't see him do it, but they're telling you he did it, so I'm going to assume he did. Austin is then sent into the exposed turnbuckle back first. Nash attacks then. Austin says the ref is distracted. Follow-away slam by Hall, but Austin kicks out. Austin hits a spine buster. And then hits a stunner out of nowhere, but Nash pulls the ref out of the ring. Austin fights them both. And ends up stunning both Hall and Nash. But Nash elbow drops the second ref as he's over the pin. Hall hits Austin with a shitty stunner. Austin never gave Hall anything on those stunners. But he does kick out. Austin sends Hall to the exposed turnbuckle, then hits him with one stunner, and then hits him with a second stunner that causes Hall to do the big jump bump that he does, which is incredible. Austin wins. I give it 5 out of 10. It is perfectly fine. They did, it's by the numbers, everything you expect. This is just Austin but being protected and having to beat up both guys. But yeah, this was not what I would do with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'll just say that. Our next matchup is a fatal 4-way elimination match for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team titles as the APA take on Billy and Chuck defending against APA, Dudley Boys, and the Hardys. Dudley Boys come out to entered by Thick played by Saliva. I don't remember. I think it's Saliva. And my favorite thing about it is Bubba just like banging his head, like freaking just really bobbing his head, jamming out with the the drum guy. APA jump Billy and Chuck right at the start. Again, that's pretty much in every match. Big boot by Bradshaw. Billy and Chuck, they'll get control over Farouk. Power slam by Farouk. Get DT by Bradshaw, but Billy kicks out. Clothesline from Hell by Bradshaw to Billy. By this point, the Dudleys have tagged in. 3D to Bradshaw to pin him, and the APA are eliminated. Hardy's then get a double DDT to Chuck, who has the most insane bump. I love it. Whisper in the Wind by Jeff. But we get Doomsday Device to Jeff by a member of Billy and Chuck and a member of the Dudley Boys. Dudleys get control and really work over Jeff. This is the only flaw I have in this match. I think they spend too long working over Jeff. In a match like this, I don't think there should be one guy getting beaten up for a long period of time. I feel like that's just me, but you kind of want action and not just a long, stretched out working over someone. But we do get a hot tag to Matt. Middle leg drop by Matt to Bubba, but a kick out. Devon, they go do the what's up table, but Billy pushes Devon off the top rope, and he falls through a table that the Dudley set up on the outside. Twist of Fate followed by a Swanton to pin Bubba and eliminate the Dudleys. Final two teams are Billy and Chuck, the current champs, and the Hardys. We get a super kick by Chuck to Matt, but he kicks out. Side effect by Matt Hardy to Billy. So we had Twist of Fate followed by a Swanton to Chuck. But while the ref's distracted, Billy hits the famous on Jeff. Chuck crawls into the pin, but we do get a kick out. But pretty much immediately after, Billy runs in, the ref gets distracted again and hits Jeff with the belt. Chuck pins and wins, so they retain the titles. I give it 6 out of 10. It is it is fun. Again, I think I would have gave it a higher rate had I not spent a good amount of time just working over Jeff. But besides that, I really enjoyed the match, and yeah, they did a really good job getting over all the teams, and Billy and Chuck somehow survive and walk out the champs. Molly's then running a hallway and gets hit by a door that has Christian, who is, I think, swung at her. I don't know how he knew she was coming, but like, because he's like, you don't even see him in shots, which means I don't even think he'd be able to see the hallway, but he just perfectly nails it, I guess, that he just knew she'd be down, that she'd be there. But he pins her and becomes the new hardcore champion. We then go into our next match, and a match that should have been the main event. As it's Icon versus Icon, Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. Hogan returned at No Way Out with the NWO. The Rock then came out pretty much on the Raw right after and just felt like, how do you feel about going one-on-one or headlining one more WrestleMania with The Rock? And then they try to kill Rock, so he does his literally hit him with a hammer, like he put him in an ambulance. They fucking chain the ambulance up and drive a fucking semi into it like twice or 3 times. This fucking guy. Then The Rock comes back in about a week's time, so that real good job putting over this match here, guys. And then the crowd shows up here, and they fucking love Hulk Hogan. This crowd, this is the interesting. The crowd and the atmosphere for this match is unmatched by anything. You cannot find another match that has this much electricity. This much, like, emotion. Crowd on the edge of their seat. This crowd showed up to watch these two men wrestle, and that's it. They didn't care about anything else. They just wanted to see these two men wrestle each other. Because, jeez, oh my god, it's unmatched. Hogan shoves The Rock down. Place explodes. Before that, though, they do have a face-to-face. I'm pretty sure it's in this face-to-face. They're like, okay, we're switching this around. Because they switched the entire thing of this match around. Like, one's way more heel. Rock's is supposed to be the face, and Hogan's supposed to be the heel. They switched that thing around by the time this match starts. Hogan hits a clothesline to The Rock. Rock spawns a clothesline of his own. Rock sends Hogan to the outside. Rock goes for the Rock bottom, but Hogan stops it. And we get a belly-to-back suplex by Hogan. Hogan does the back rakes to The Rock. And we get a choke slam by Hogan. Hogan clotheslines Rock on the outside. We do get a ref bump. Rock locks in his terrible sharpshooter, but the ref is down when Hogan taps. Hogan hits a low blow to a gigantic pop. Hogan hits a Rock bottom of his own, but The Rock kicks out. DDT by The Rock. The Rock then hits the Rock bottom, but Hogan kicks out, hulks up, and the crowd fucking explodes. The pop this gets is, like, again, unmatched. This is insanity. The way this place reacts to Hogan hulking up is just unmatched. We get the punches, the big boot, the leg drop, but The Rock kicks out. We go over a second big boot, but The Rock avoids the leg drop. We get 2 rock bottoms by Rock. Then he does a kip up and does the people's elbow to pin and win as a match from bell to bell. 8 out of 10. Because it might not be the greatest in-ring matchup, but you have to incorporate the crowd, the atmosphere, the way these guys portray, do it. It's everything, and they tell it beautifully. It's you ain't gonna find anything like this. I'm not sure. I don't think you can name a match that has this much electricity to it. They've tried. They'll never get it again. Hogan shows respect to The Rock. They shake hands and that. Rock leaves. Hall and Nash come out and they're mad and they attack Hogan. The Rock running back to make the save. And then Hogan poses, baby. Hogan must pose. So yeah, there's that match. We get Big Show at WWF World. It's WrestleMania, baby! Woo! Our next matchup is for the Women's Championship in a triple threat match as Jazz defends the title against Trish Stratus and Lita. So I'm not the biggest fan of this match. I think it has more to do though with Jerry Lawler than anything. Jerry Lawler pisses me off during this match. The more I watch these shows, the more I grow to dislike Jerry Lawler, I think. I don't think that's the intention, but he's the one I go the most to dislike out of everyone. Because once a women's match comes on, I want to again hear him never speak again. Lita and Trish double team on Jazz, but Jazz gets control of both of them, and she just straight kicks Trish out of the ring. Jazz drops Lita on the top rope. Trish gets a bulldog. We had Twist of Fate by Lita to Jazz. Lita goes on the top. The match ends with Jazz hitting a Fisherman Buster off the top rope to Lita to win. I give it 4 out of 10. Again, not my favorite matchup. But Trish is very new and that, so I can't fully blame her. She takes a shitty back body drop in that. But at the end of the day, she does the job she needs to do. They all do it well. I think Trish also probably should have won since it's in Toronto, but they wanted the heat, so fair enough. But yeah, overall, yeah, 4 out of 10. Not my favorite match. Christian is then about to leave. He puts his car in the cab. And he's talking to a cab driver, I'm the hardcore champ. And Maven sneaks up behind him, rolls him up to become the hardcore champion again. And he just straight gets in the cab and the cab driver drives off. He steals the cab from Christian, which is crazy. I hope he paid the damn thing. He better have paid that cap. We then go into the main event for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. As for the Undisputed Championship. As the champion, the Undisputed Champion, Chris Jericho with Stephanie McMahon takes on Triple H. Chris Jericho beat Austin Rock same night. Maybe you've heard this before. Avenged doesn't want to become the Undisputed Champion. Triple H returned to Madison Square Garden in January. Gigantic babyface. Won the loudest ovation you'll hear from MSG. And immediately has issues with Stephanie McMahon, his current wife. Even at the time, they were on screen, husband and wife. Triple H then, Stephanie faked being pregnant, I believe, if I remember correctly, to try to convince Triple H to stay with her. Triple H then found out she was lying. And when they did a wedding renewal ceremony, he called her a bitch and said they were over. So Stephanie aligns with Chris Jericho, and we're not even going to get into the booking of Chris Jericho as Undisputed Champ, because that's annoying. But let's get into the match. Triple H has multiple clotheslines to Jericho, and Triple H is taped up with his quad. Because, it's injured, and Jericho targeted it on Raw. the past Monday before this. Jericho says Triple H to the outside, but Jericho goes up top. Triple H climbs up and just throws him onto the barricade. Triple H suplexes Jericho on the outside. Jericho is able to target Triple H's knee, but he does it for long because Triple H locks in the figure 4. But Stephanie immediately rakes Triple H's eye to get him to break the hold. Jericho accidentally knocks Stephanie off the apron. Triple H then goes to pedigree step, but Jericho hits a missile dropkick to stop him. And begins really targeting Triple H's knee now. He even locks in a figure 4 around the ring post and begins to work him over. Jericho ends up backdropping Triple H from the English announce table to into the Spanish announce table, and he breaks it. Jericho locks in the walls of Jericho, but Triple H gets to the ropes. Jericho's bleeding from the mouth. Jericho grabs a chair, but Triple H kicks it into his face and hits a DDT onto the chair, but Jericho kicks out. Triple H then hits a pedigree to Stephanie McMahon. Jericho hits Triple H in the head with a chair, but a kick out. Jericho then jumps off the top rope, but Triple H catches him with a pedigree to pin and become the new undisputed champion. As a main event, 6 out of 10. Very good match between the two. Well done story. Just shouldn't have been the main event. That's my only thought. It shouldn't have been the main event. I know this was a Triple H push. Of course it was. Triple H is going to make sure his ass is the main event. But, yeah, no, you weren't topping Hogan and Rock. So, this should not have main evented. As a show, I give it 7 out of 10. Perfectly fine show. Very well done show. Just would have switched the order around a bit. But besides that, very fun show. A lot of good stuff goes on in it. Yeah, I got no complaints at all about this show. But, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you got a show you'd like to see me review, let me know down below. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all when we do our review of WrestleMania 19.